I hate math. You don't need it in your future. You don't need it in your future. From the future, you don't need math. Hi, you guys. We almost forgot, but Mackenzie remembered you. So let me fix my collar. Okay. We are on 4:56. Look, third hour's gone. What about the others? No, wait. It should be right because we did this class. Never mind. You're good. Shh. I'm trying to teach. Okay. Okay, good. From April to June, the Japanese island of Okinawa. Okay, so let's review with you looking at me. Okay, so ready? Just really fast. Everybody listen, please. 1936 to 1939 was what civil war that was significant? No. Spanish Civil War, because Francisco Franco is fascism light, which means what? Yeah, he survived till 75. Everybody else is going to die when?
45.
Do you know the dates?
The 7th or something?
April.
7th, May 7th is VE Day, Victory in Europe. April 28th and then April 30th, because it gives Hitler time to read the news on the 29th and be like, oh, I don't want that to be it. Don't answer all the questions. Okay, and then 1938 is a Munich conference, and Neville Chamberlain looks like an idiot because he says, we shall have peace in our time, and then a year later, Hitler invades who? In 1939, September 1st. Poland. Beginning of the war. Poland. He does that with what kind of fighting? Blitzkrieg. Go that way some more. Blitzkrieg, which means, no, that way. Yeah. Which means lightning war. And he does this all through Europe. Now remember, from September until June, he conquers literally all of Europe. All of Europe in like 7 months, and that's including what? The winter called who's talking? The Phony War. The Phony War, because after he invaded Poland, Britain and France declared war on them, but then he took over Poland, but then after that, they were actively theoretically at war, but they didn't, Hitler didn't invade anybody else, so Britain and France were like, just chilling, waiting for him to attack somebody, and then in the spring of 41, no, spring of 40, he rampages all over Europe. Absolutely, bam, 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 2 weeks blitzkrieg, 3 weeks blitzkrieg, and takes over all of freaking Europe in that amount of time. So how long does he occupy Vichy France, which is Nazi-occupied France? 4 years, all the way until, don't say it, June 6th, 1944, which is called D-Day. And then on D-Day, we finally go in and liberate France, make them free again. So we liberate France. What you should know also is that just only a week before Poland, who has a love fest? Who has a love fest? Stalin and Hitler, and it's called the Non-Aggression Pact. And then he's going to break it right after what? He defeats France. He defeats all of Europe. He's going to do the same thing. And then we all know that that was a bad choice, just like with who else invaded? Napoleon and Hitler in the winter. They invaded. So that doesn't go as well as he had hoped. And then now we are in the Pacific theater. Oh, so D-Day is the most significant battle in the European theater. And by the way, just in case you need to know, and that general is in the European theater? Eisenhower. Dwight David Eisenhower, the United States, is the commander of all of the Allied forces in Europe and in the Pacific. Douglas MacArthur is the general in the Pacific. They have two very, very different routes. What's Eisenhower going to do? Yeah, after the war. He's going to become president. And then MacArthur, old soldiers, fade away. MacArthur has a whole different one because he wants to bomb the hell out of China and go into this huge war. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. All right. What else should I have said? What else should I have said? Oh, what are we? What are we? We're isolationists. We have a cash and carry program, which is dumb because nobody's going to come to us and pay cash and take the weapons back. So then we change it to the Lend-Lease Plan. The Lend-Lease Plan. Oh, wait, why did we care about the Civil War? The Spanish Civil War?
Because Spain didn't get occupied.
And what do they call it? They call Spain their... these are good words, like especially for EBD. They're proving ground. They're proving ground to prove if their weapons are going to be effective, right? It's not like this dry run. You should know the Reichstag burns down coincidentally a month after Hitler becomes the Chancellor of Germany, and he has the Enabling Act, which gives him dictatorial rules. Put that down if you didn't. It's called the Enabling Act. It's literally a month after he becomes Chancellor, and it's called the Enabling Act, and it sure does enable him. It enables him to become a fascist dictator. What do we call that guy? Mussolini, we call something, and Hitler, we call something? It means the leader. Mein Führer. And then Il Duce. Il Duce is Mussolini. Are people, why is it World War again? World War II is also World War, even though it's in Europe and in the Pacific. Because again, what do people do? The colonized go and fight for them, wanting what Woodrow Wilson it says. Self-determination. Where did Woodrow Wilson write about that? In his 14 points. How do we do? Is there something else we should have said? What else should I have said? I mean, I suppose right now we're getting ready to finish the war. We're going to find more out about what happened in Nazi Germany, which is called what? The Holocaust. The Holocaust, I'm assuming that's what's next. So, April, June, the Japanese island of Okinawa was captured by the U.S. with a combined 130,000 killed, 12,000 of whom were Americans. So, Okinawa, this is Okinawa, Iwo Jima. Is Iwo Jima and Okinawa the same place? I think they're different places? Yeah. Oh. So, Iwo Jima and Okinawa were very, very difficult battles because we were doing the island hopping campaign, which said go and get who first? The weaker islands, and then try to bomb the hell out of the big islands and starve them out until finally we didn't have any choice. We had to go in, and so a lot of people were killed. Go ahead. The Japanese Navy had been destroyed, but kamikaze pilots sank many U.S. ships. Kamikaze, kamikaze, kamikaze. Do you remember what that word is from? Kamikaze winds that made the Mongols, who are a cavalry that took boats to invade whom? Japan. Remember, in the Sea of Japan, the kamikaze winds destroyed any hopes of the Mongols with their horses. I just am trying to picture Mongols getting on boats to go invade Japan. I still can't picture that. Anyway, didn't matter. The kamikaze winds destroyed them. What you should know is that we are now talking about 1945, October, I think, of 44 is when kamikaze pilots start happening. The kamikazes are not forever, because if you were trying to be able to use weapons over and over and over again, it's a very bad choice to use planes what? Just to be a bomb. It's better to use planes to drop bombs rather than use the plane to actually be the bomb. So why do they do that? Obviously, they're running out of supplies and everything else. So kamikaze pilots are only from October-ish of 44 through 45. Go ahead. At the Potsdam Conference, the Allies issued an ultimatum to Japan: surrender or be destroyed. So again, it was unconditional surrender. And then Truman says to Stalin, psst, we might have, a really important weapon coming. And Stalin's like, oh, because? He already knew. He already knew. Spies, 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 spies. He already knew, and he's already working on developing his own atomic bomb. So already knew about it. So July of 45, put it down, is the first time in the history of the Earth that an atomic bomb has been detonated. And I think it's Nevada? Is it Nevada? An atomic bomb was detonated, and it was us testing the bomb. And then again, if you don't know, August 6th and August 9th are Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and 6 plus 9 equals 15, which is VJ Day, victory over Japan. So the Potsdam Conference, two things: unconditional surrender, recommitting to unconditional surrender like they talked about at Casablanca, and then also Stalin found out that we have a bomb, which was not news. Go ahead. The Manhattan Project. Oh, sorry. You're like, do we know this? Put it down if you don't know this, for heaven's sakes. Manhattan Project, Manhattan Project, Manhattan Project. What is it? It's building the bomb. It's building the bomb. By the way, Einstein wrote a letter to the president, encouraging him years before this to begin atomic testing for a weapon. That's the only part that Einstein played, but he was asked to write a letter because of his great fame as a scientist, that it would help if he wrote a letter. So he does write a letter and says we should try to invent this atomic bomb, and then forever what? He regretted it. J. Robert Oppenheimer, on this date, J. Robert Oppenheimer quoted the Bhagavad Gita. When he saw this, everybody just stared, mostly when they saw the testing of this bomb. And he quoted the Bhagavad Gita, and he said, and where's Bhagavad Gita from? Hindu scriptures. The Bhagavad Gita is from Hindu scriptures. And it said, and I have become death, destroyer of worlds. So, I mean, it's a fun one. If you like that quote, it's a good quote like EBD about atomic weapons. And I have become death, destroyer of worlds. And so he regretted it also, as did other people in their future regretted building atomic bombs. Because you can't put that genie, what? Back in the bottle, which means today still atomic weapons everywhere. And then we're going to have hydrogen bombs in our future. One more time, Aaliyah, underneath that CO2 thing, would you read what Einstein said about, nope, you're there.
Oh, I don't know.
Loud, loud, loud.
I don't know how the Third World War will be fought, but I can tell you what they will use in the war.
Stop. What is it? We've said it before.
Sticks and stones.
Sticks and stones. Who is it? Einstein. Does it say what year?
1945.
1945. Sticks and stones. I don't know how the Third World War will be fought, but the Fourth will be fought with sticks and stones. You guys think that he's right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. So the Manhattan Project. Oh, never mind, it's in New Mexico. Here I'm asking if it was Nevada. It's in New Mexico. Go ahead. Wait. A weapon of an unparalleled power is being created which will completely change all future conditions of warfare. True. And then you have to know, put it down if you don't know, MAD, and it's called mutual assured destruction. Even this day, mutual assured destruction, MAD, is what prevents Kim Jong-un, where's Kim Jong-un? North Korea, babyface Un, from doing what? If he sends nuclear weapons at anyone, what about that? Can you touch North Korea? Adriana, can you see it? North Korea? It would literally make South Korea what? An island. It would be bombed to hell and back. Although South Korea what? I mean, they'd be decimated. Japan, China would be decimated. So if Kim Jong-un even considered sending a nuclear weapon. By the way, that's why I was out picketing in 2003 when they said that we were going to go to war in Iraq. I was like, okay, FYI, while we're trying to go to war against Iraq and make up a reason to go to war in Iraq, North Korea is trying to get a nuclear bomb. Maybe we should care about North Korea. How about we care about North Korea? They're trying to get a nuclear bomb. But instead, we invaded Iraq, and now what? North Korea has nuclear bombs. And they're making ICBMs. Put that down if you don't know what it is. Capital all letters. ICBM. Intercontinental ballistic missiles that we can now put nuclear warheads in. What does it mean, intercontinental ballistic missiles? You can shoot it across the ocean. You can shoot it from one place to another place, to brand new continents. ICBMs are literally right now exactly the problem, that we have nuclear weapons and they are all on ICBMs. Well, most of them are on ICBMs. Do you know the other big problem that we now have is suitcase bombs? What's that mean, Dalton?
They're like hidden, like not on the, or you can just detonate them.
Yeah.
Or no detonation.
Suitcase bombs. That they are capable of making a nuclear weapon small enough to fit in suitcase so that you can literally just set it down and then go away. And then what? Click a button and detonate a suitcase bomb. That's why it's even more dangerous. So, Japan refused to surrender, and an attack on Japanese mainland might mean millions of casualties. This is why we use the bomb. Go ahead. Yesterday, I told you right before we were leaving that they used 24/7 bombing, what was it called? The carpet bombing of Tokyo, all 80 cities, 65 cities, something like that. Carpet bombing them, just absolutely decimating every single city. And then we still end up using what? Nuclear bombs. On August 6th, the atomic bomb, go back. On August 6th, the plane's called the Enola Gay. The atomic bomb dropped in Hiroshima, 180,000 were killed. Go back. What does this guy think? The one that dropped it, do you think he wishes he hadn't? Like these guys?
No.
What?
It's his duty.
It's following orders. It was my duty. I did what I should have done. And as far as he's concerned, what was the result? Stop the war. Go ahead. Go back so we can see that bomb. What's that called? Mushroom cloud. Go ahead. No, go back. Yeah. That's just like what? What do we see now all the time, unfortunately? It's like those freaking tornadoes are going through places. They're just decimating, except it's absolutely all of them. I don't even know how come some of the buildings stayed. Go ahead. That man is not dead. Some people somehow survived.
Aren't people like who weren't even around during the time of the bombing affected now? Because
Yeah.
like the parents?
I think that anybody in Japan, that there's some that are. What is it showing you? That what?
It's like the shadow.
The shadow. It made the shadow. If somebody was there, it made the shadow of them. And like, so on buildings, there'd be shadow of people that were evaporated. But their shadow stayed. Go ahead. August 9th, another dropped on Nagasaki, killing 80,000 more.